Digimodify! Podcast activate!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 61 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
One day we should mix that up because, they might know our names by now.
You're right, I'm May.
And I'm Jay. This week we watched Not a Scene on TV.
Or Turn Back into Gilmon, Gromon's Mess.
And The IceMon Cometh.
Or Renamon is My Friend, Ruki's Hesitation.
The first episode that we're watching this week is called Not a Scene on TV, or Go Back to Gilmon, the Growlmon Incident. What do you think will happen in this episode?
Not a Scene on TV is a really interesting statement because of how much they love that big, stupid silver building that's also a TV station in Tokyo. Whatever it's called. That
in
place
Odaiba?
you love. Yeah.
The Fuji TV building?
Yeah, they love that place. I was thinking it's like that. That's not where they're fighting right now, is it?
No, because they're in Shinjuku, not in Odaiba.
Okay, so beyond that, I can't really think of what Not a Scene on TV actually means. What was the second one about a Growlmon incident?
Go Back to Gilmon, the Growlmon Incident.
Right. So it'll be very clear, and as we've talked about it a bit before, this season has a very different view on what evolutions are. Evolutions are not, you are slightly bigger. It is, you have become something else. You have, like, your instincts have been amplified, or you have almost developed a different personality entirely. So, at some stage during this, Gilmon is obviously going to return, and Growlmon's going to stop after beating Devidramon.
Devidramon, yeah.
And then, obviously, Tokaido is going to have a long talk with him about, oh my god, evolution's terrible, we can't have this happen again. It's basically 2 out of 3 of the Digimon at the moment.
Yeah.
Their regular evolutions are basically Skullgreatmon.
Yeah, like uncontrollable?
Yeah.
So you think that Growlmon's going to be uncontrollable?
For a little bit, until he becomes a better tamer. That's what I like. They actually do have to tame them.
Yeah.
Except for Ruki, who's already got there.
Yeah. Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I would probably find it pretty annoying if Tokaido doesn't come to the conclusion of, I need to train you better, and instead comes to the conclusion of, you're never evolving again. Which I feel like, given his weird snap decision-making, including, I don't trust you anymore because you said a sentence, and now I'm running away. I never believed in you.
Right.
That sort of thing. We could probably assume that he's going to have some kind of terrible snap decision.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
The use of the term Growlmon incident is interesting because it implies something that they'll refer to a lot in the future, which means that something probably pretty momentous is going to happen, like innocents will get hurt. I think that could be pretty interesting. So yeah, I think it'll be good.
What rating will you give it?
I'm going to say an 8.
Right. The second episode we're watching this week is called The IceMon Cometh, or Renamon is My Friend, Ruki's Hesitation. What do you think will happen in this episode?
When you say The IceMon Cometh, I really want it to be IceDevimon, because I know that he has the, Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Or does he have the Christopher Walken voice?
He has the Christopher Walken voice in Fusion.
Oh no, the Judgemon has...
Gargoylemon.
Whatever. The Judge has the voice. Okay, IceMon. You know what? IceMon is probably its name, whatever it is. So, didn't they already use this title?
No, it was the Piximon Cometh.
Oh my god. The IceMon Cometh is closer to the original quote.
Yeah.
Iceman,
yeah.
I think. Anyway, so I guess IceMon is probably the name of the thing, and then I guess a situation is going to come up in which Renamon is in danger, and Ruki could do something really risky, or she's presented with the idea that Renamon might die, and in that situation, she thinks to herself, well, she's not just died, she's a Digimon, she's a friend of mine, and then she sort of has a more rethink about her policy on Digimon as a whole, because even after she softened up on Renamon, she still had her, Digimon are just data thing recently.
Yeah. Do you think anything will annoy you in this episode?
I'm thinking that IceMon is going to look terrible. It's got a really bad name, so I don't have much faith in its design. And, I don't know, Ruki's kind of going in circles a little bit, because she should have already realized this. She already knows that Renamon's her friend.
Do you think it'll be a good episode?
It feels like they're retreading ground. This should be fresh, but they're retreading it a bit, so I don't know. I guess a 7. It's not gonna be bad by any means.
Yeah, but it won't be fantastic.
It's not gonna be an A+ episode.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about these 2 episodes?
The second one sounds a little bit Monster of the Week. It doesn't sound like much story progression happens. No, it's not. It's nothing compared to the Growlmon incident.
Right. Anything else?
Nope. Let's go.
On to the show.
To be fair to my synopsis that I would have just given, except that it was on Tuesday, when in my one it says Gromon's Mess,
which is a lot less serious than the Gromon incident, which is something I thought they would refer back to a lot.
Look, the Gromon incident still makes sense to me because it's like the incident of, his Gromon now. What's up?
I don't know. It's a lot less impactful than just like, oh, he made a mess, which is what happened.
As for Diginews, nothing really much happened. Christina V was confirmed to be Mako in the Tri-dub.
I don't know who that is.
I think she was in the Madoka dub, and I think she might be the girl in Miraculous Ladybug. Okay. She's in a bunch of things.
So she's a voice actor.
Yeah, she's a voice actor, and I think she started just doing like English covers of songs on YouTube, and that's like where she started. And yeah, that's how I know about her, because I don't actually watch that many dubs because I'm superior. I'm joking. I watch whatever's available.
The only superior dub is Gurren Lagann. That's the only superior dub as far as I'm aware.
I still haven't watched that.
You should. It's quite good. It's also not super long.
As for releases that came out, I received a message from my middleman service, and the Agumon keyboard set and my Paildramon D3 have been released, so that's good.
What do you mean? They had them on like a stream like last year, didn't they?
The Agumon, well, they had, yeah, but they always have like, the first few. Like,
but that was last year!
Yes, but the CSA Digivice they had in August, and that didn't come out till January or something.
That's only 4 months. It's been 7.
Yes. Okay,
it's been like almost twice as long.
Yes, but this is the actual release. It's July. They've also had like the D3s out for like in physicalness for a while for me.
The physicalness.
The physicalness is a word. It can happen.
It's a physicality.
Anyway, so I am very hype train. I'll try to, if I'm not too busy, I'll make a video about stuff, because I'm really happy about all the arrivals, and I've had some, and I really want to show off some of my stuff.
That's mostly the idea behind it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure if people actually would like to watch that, but, let me know, and I'll probably try to make a video one day.
We'll have that as a playlist called LOL, look at all this stuff.
Look at all this stuff. I have no control over my money.
This digi stuff.
Dig stuff. And nothing really else more to report. On to the show. Not a scene on TV or go back to Gilmon the Gromon incident starts off where we left off in the last episode, where Takado being scared of Grammon.
Do you mean we start where we left off at the beginning of episode 2?
Oh yeah, that's right. So Takado spends a lot of time thinking he's going to get eaten by his best friend.
Yeah, and it's always like immediate. At least this one you can kind of see where he's coming from. Yeah,
because he looks grumpy.
But then it's always me like, Takado, you alright? Are you fine down there?
Yeah.
I was pretty sure like immediately that the power of tears would bring him back, but it didn't.
It wasn't Takado's tears though, which I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, Takado was probably crying a little bit. Probably also pooped himself.
No, I think he talked about peeing himself.
Really?
I'm pretty sure in the English he made reference to it.
Oh, the English does a lot of things though. The dub has some weird, interesting choices of wording. So in the original, while it's just remembering creating him. In the dub, Takado's thinking, and we can hear him think, obviously, and he says,
I probably look like an appetizer to him. Why didn't I draw him smaller? I'm just a big jalapeno popper with legs. At least maybe I'll give him indigestion.
The weird thing about this, I think, is that he says I should have drawn him smaller, but he didn't scan that page.
So he could have just been the size of the page.
No, it doesn't matter.
I think it's because...
he didn't scan it. That information from that drawing was not put into this design.
Also, it looks slightly different. It doesn't have the mullet in the drawing.
Oh yeah, no, that drawing is not relevant to what we're seeing.
Yeah. So, in the original, it's not really said, this is directly his design. He's just remembering designing him. And in the dub, it straight up says he designed Growlmon, which I don't think is necessarily true.
I really don't think he did.
Yeah, because he has a mullet. Who would give your Digimon a mullet?
This was in the early 2000s?
Yeah. No, mullets were dead. Mullets have been dead for 10 years.
Not in Japan.
The mullet was...
Japan's 10 years behind.
Yeah, the mullet was big in the 70s, wasn't it? I know, mullets were really big in the 70s in Australia. My dad had one.
I'm pretty sure they were around in the 90s.
No one should have a mullet.
Or there's the super mullet, where the business at the front is total shiny baldness.
Oh.
And the back is the full-on party long hair. That's a great look.
Well, these people have hair, Jay.
I can. I once upon a time had hair.
Just move to your face.
No, but like I had hair that was like a foot long, except that like, what do you mean? You knew me. I tied it back and everything.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's just that you couldn't see because I tied it back or I gel it down or something.
Oh,
But
yeah, I remember you had a lot of hair.
My receding hairline defeated me.
Yeah, that's
So
right. You
I
had a lot of
shaved it
hair
all
when I
off.
met you.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No. When I met you, it was just growing at the time, and it was like kind of in its weird curly
Yeah.
standing up stage, which it does.
Did
My
I
hair
have-
is awful.
I had pink hair when...
At
no,
some
I didn't.
stage.
No, I had blonde hair when we first met.
Yes.
Yeah. I've had a lot of hair colours. Anyway, this is now the hair podcast.
Well, lost in hair lately, Mon.
Hierarchy.
No, that's terrible.
I like it. I very much like it. So, Growlmon starts...
I don't like it.
I'll fight you. So,
No, what is it? My shopping trolley stolen. My shopping trolley murdered. My groceries just gone. Have you seen that?
yeah, I think I have. So, Growlmon's crying, and Decado hugs him and says sorry. Growlmon asks him if he scared him when he was fighting, and for some reason, it's only in this part, but Growlmon, in the original version, his voice just sounds kind of weird, like he's struggling. And I guess it's fitting, because, he probably just evolved and it probably hurts him slightly. Which, to be fair, like, if you look at the animation sequence for the evolution, their face gets super ripped off.
Yeah, but those animations never meant anything.
Yeah, but it's more than
Okay,
just
you
glowing.
can't take them seriously because also when Metal Garurumon evolves, he shoots missiles everywhere.
And Imperialdramon, I want to say Dragon Mode, blows up a building.
Yeah, no, he blows up
Every
a
time.
castle.
Yeah.
You're right.
Whatever, he's the strongest one, he can just do that.
Yeah, like so they're not relevant. They're we know that when they evolve, all they're actually doing is glowing and spinning.
Yeah. Then Decado tries to fit him back into his home, like his little housing where he always fits him, and he was pushing Growlmon in it. Super cute.
Well, especially in English, they have this joke. Well, Guilmon goes in and the door sort of bends, and he goes, "I'm stuck." And then he's like, I wonder how I can make him change back. And he's like, "I'm stuck though. Help."
I'm still stuck.
They stick on that for a little bit longer than you'd expect. Well,
But it's fine.
So like he leaves him in there in the English anyway, and he starts doing like that Spider-Man joke, where from the original Spider-Man movie, where he's like putting his hands in different ways to try and make the web come out. Whereas Takada was like waving his Digivice, and he's trying to like make the Digivice do something to make him devolve.
I know I like when he's trying to... Because...
And Gil was like, "But I'm stuck."
Because this season is really fascinating in the way that previous seasons, the children have never really done much with their Digivices. They've never really looked for much information from their Digivice, except for Koshiro, but he's special. And in this, we see Decado all constantly trying to figure it out. And of course, the dub adds in the line of the Digivice talking and saying, "Press this button to set the time."
Also, it's weird because the D3 supposedly was meant to do way, way, way more stuff.
Detect something and something.
It detected nothing. Did it ever in the full 50 episodes actually detect anything?
It detected the Digimentals when it was relevant.
Ooh, I guess. Okay. Because I know they opened digital gates, and that was like the big extra
I think
thing
one
they
is
did.
Discover. The Discover the Digimentals, detect your friends, which is the first one could do.
The D1.
Yeah, the D2 actually.
It could detect and discover? It couldn't discover.
No, the third D means something else. Detect, Digivolve, and Discover. I don't know.
It's not Digivolve, it's just Digimon.
I think no, it's detect, discover, and
You're such a good fan that you don't know what these 3Ds are.
I'll show you one.
You're just looking it up. That's cheating.
detect Digimon. It stands for Digimon.
I told you it did.
I know.
You should not
I
believe
thought you were
me.
joking.
No.
Because I thought it might stand for Digimon.
Hey,
Okay, it actually does.
We have it recorded. I laughed at you when you told me that.
Okay, it's Digimon, detect, and discover.
Isn't it sad?
Okay, so Digimon. You can battle your Digimon throughout the areas. The D3 has an antenna, which is used to seek out other D3s. Same antenna used in Digimon Help Wave.
I'm sorry, the help wave?
The Help Wave. It's when you get Digimon. Go away.
It's
It's in
the
the
help
toy.
wave?
It's in the toy. It's in the toy.
Okay.
It's really good. You can
The
find
help
your
wave.
friends.
They can try to take one near... Oh, this is the toy, though.
Yes.
Okay. You can use any Digimental on any Digimon without restrictions. I think that's a lie.
But they break. It is a lie. They break.
What a terrible thing.
Yeah.
You know, all of Digimon.
You're
Garbage.
mean. You're still mean to D3s. Did Zero 2 frighten you that much?
It was really bad. It was really, really bad. And I'm sad.
We also get this cute, like, attempt at a card slash from Decado, and it's him, like, slashing it upside down because it thought it would work. It's
No.
so cute.
So, in the English, he says,
Yeah.
I try to slash it
Yeah,
backwards.
yeah, he does.
In the Japanese, he's just like, it's just an evolution module. And it doesn't work.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like, I
just
don't
one.
get it. I think it's funny that at least they tried something different.
Mm.
I tried to slash it backwards. However, what I noticed about this whole scene and what this episode in general is that what's really weird about Season 3 is that in Season 1 and 2, consistently Digimon were devolving at terrible times, or like, you would want them to be bigger for longer, but they would just devolve because they were used up really, really, really quickly. This is so weird, it's the total opposite. You're too big, we need to shrink you down.
Except for Cubimon, but we didn't actually see it struggle. We just saw Ruki sitting outside a house with Cubimon.
Yeah, Renamon doesn't struggle.
Because Renamon's too good.
It is. What a Mary Sue that Pokemon is.
So I guess this is why they call it not a scene on TV, because it's referring to Digivolving is hard. Digivolving is hard. It's not as seen on TV as referring to the previous seasons. Because they, in the English dub, remember, they watched.
Oh, there's no way. There's no way that's what...
100%, that's why. That's why. What else would they call it? Not as seen on TV. What else would it refer to?
I guess that's a good question. It really does seem to kind of completely nowhere.
It's 100% showing that de-evolving... I think it's a clever title.
So,
It's a saying of not as, just as seen on TV. It's not as seen on TV. It's different from the show.
I guess...
And it's also, again, referring to the fact that Takado has watched Zero Two and Adventure on TV.
They don't make that much reference to it. I wish they'd said just a quick line of "It's never this difficult in the show."
I think that the title tries to imply that.
No, but I want him to say it.
Yeah, but you're not one of
But
the dub
I
writers.
want him to say
No.
it.
Then Takado tries to scare him, and I just want to point out that this is like slightly the opposite of the XVmon episode.
Yes, it's pretty much the same story, but backwards.
Except then Takado says, "Oh, maybe I should be doing stuff too," because he says, "Well, I'm your partner."
But no, that's during the exercise bit.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that Davis never came to that conclusion of maybe we both have to try.
I mean, I guess. I think that this conclusion specifically makes more sense for de-evolving than evolving.
Yeah.
But you're right. It shows more self-awareness, I think.
Yeah, and also his friend Davis is pretty bad towards his
Davis
Digimon.
is crap. Anyway, so yeah, he tries to cool Grammon off by putting him in water, and then he's just freezing and not getting anywhere. So Takado thinks to himself, "What if he gets sick? I'd be a terrible tamer. My solution is I will join him in the water."
It's cute.
Oh, it is. He's really stupid.
Yeah, but
Then he gets Grammon to...
Takado's not smart.
No, he's not.
But that's fine. He doesn't have to be.
No, he's not.
He's lovable and he likes to draw.
I mean, if you like him.
He just likes hanging out with his friends. He's fine. And he's not perfect at everything.
No.
He's relatable. He's just a kid, right?
Yeah, so he tries to get Grammon to do exercise, then he joins... bringing in the idea that evolution is like a partner process, so it must take it out of both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which is... No, that's a fine... If you're trying everything, that's a fine theory.
So then he kind of gives up, and he goes... No, they pray first.
Yeah, they go to a temple and they wish for Gilmon to de-evolve, and it's really cute.
So there's this thing, and I'm not sure, I'm sure it's a joke, and I didn't have to explain the whole thing.
Yeah.
But basically, Takado grabs a rope and rings the little bell, and he's like, "Okay, now you do it." And Gilmon can't, he's like, he does it way too hard because he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Then they do the prayer, and at the exact same time they do it a double clap. How did Grammon know how to do that if he didn't know how to ring the bell?
Takado did it first.
No, they did it at exactly the same time.
No, Takado does it for the first time.
No, he does
at the start
one
of the
clap, and then at the end they double clap precisely the same time.
Because
this choreography is unrealistic.
I know. I like it. Go away. Are you saying that the big dinosaur trying to pray is not cute? Because it very much is.
I didn't say that. I said it was unrealistic.
No, this whole episode, while it may not be the best episode of Tamers,
it might even be the worst so far.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll talk more about that later. Before we go into the next scene, I want to point out a difference that I noticed.
Oh, yeah?
And it was when Takado's making him exercise, Takado in the dub is talking during this time, is like, "Now run! Now jump! Now hit the showers!" and that's referring to the pool he jumps in.
So he heads out, leaves Growlmon, and immediately runs into Jerry. Is it with a J?
Jerry, yeah.
Oh, it's with a J. So
or Jury.
Right, he runs into Jerry, and he's like, "Hey, I got a question. So I got this friend, and they've been growing a lot, and I don't know what to do."
Yeah.
And so she immediately, in the Japanese, thinks, "Okay, he's got a girlfriend." Okay. And then she looks kind of like, maybe she's a bit jealous or something?
Yeah, but it's not really referring to a girl. It made... she doesn't actually say girlfriend. She says, "Oh, a girl that Takado grew up with when they were little, it suddenly hit a growth spurt." It's not necessarily a girlfriend.
No, but the implication by what they're saying in the rest of it is...
a girl he likes.
When she says, "I don't think this is a question you should be asking me."
Yeah.
I think you should go over there to the Love Oracle.
Yeah.
It's very clear
Yeah,
that she
she
thinks
points
he's
to-
talking about someone he's interested
Yeah.
in. Then, in the English version, instead of saying, oh, it's, you probably shouldn't be asking me this, she has her puppet say,
Yeah.
Jerry likes you, but only as a friend. Go away!
Yeah, no, she says, but don't worry, there are lots of other girls out there. And that's when she's pointing to the Love Oracle.
Like, that's such a worse thing for that character to say. What it tells me is that rather than being like, oh, a little bit embarrassed, you probably shouldn't be asking me this, but like leaving it sort of open, instead she's having this like snap reaction of like, but I like you, but only as a friend. Go away.
Yeah.
It just seemed more panicked and crappy.
Also, I have it written down that, just as a reference for me to tell you, that he refers to, in the original, Takata refers to Juri as Kato-san. So not Chan-san.
Okay, so he doesn't like her in the original.
No, he definitely does. He always blushes when she's around. It's implied that he really does like her.
Okay, but he doesn't use Chan.
Yeah, but he also uses her last name, so it's a very formal way of talking about someone.
That's weird.
So it just shows.
If Naruto taught me anything, is that if you like a girl, you call her Chan.
I think it depends on the boy. Like, you have Naruto and you have Daisuke, and they're very, extroverted. I'm going to tell everyone how I feel and be very obvious with my feelings. And
Those two need to grow up.
I'm gonna call my girlfriend or the girl I like and follow around, Sakura-chan or Hikari-chan.
Ah, yes, Sakura.
Do you want me to punch you?
No. Not particularly.
That's how tsunderes show their love. Not that I'm a tsundere or anything, Babaka.
Bag.
Baka. Yeah. And that was a really weird change how she's not pointing out to the Love Oracle, because they have to say go to the fortune teller. Like that
seems like a weird thing.
That's Western though, right?
Not really.
You have them at carnivals and school fates and stuff.
But yeah, this was just on the street.
You have fortune tellers.
Yeah, you don't walk past a fortune teller on the street, May.
You do in TV shows. Or go, I don't know,
Is this a common thing in Japan, though? Can we go to one?
We should.
Oh, that might turn out badly. Oh, well, last time we got a tarot reading on our relationship, it worked out.
You know, the weird thing is, in the dub, they're constantly talking about tarot cards.
It's true.
Why didn't they just say, go to the tarot reader over there? Because we already know that everyone knows about tarot cards.
Because those would be satanic.
But they've already mentioned them. Oh my gosh. But no, it's just Jerry, letting Takata off easy, I guess.
Then he takes Grandma I think down to the tunnel. And he's like, No, the tunnel's afterwards. Where does he sleep first? Just in the temple?
He goes to
the tunnel's second, because Kulamon goes and bothers him. I think he's just sleeping at the temple.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so Kulamon's going up and is like, we should go play, and Grandma's really smart.
Can I just say,
right.
There's a really important part that, you
What
might...
I missed?
Okay, so Takata goes home to eat dinner with his parents.
Oh yeah, no.
And it's very quiet, and we hear the TV in the background, and, the subtitles hear the TV in the background, because it's in the original. And the TV is talking about how there's a high percentage of kids who are being bullied, and they won't tell their parents, and they won't tell anyone, and they'll suffer in silence, and they'll just be distraught, and it'll eat them up inside and, kill them emotionally.
Yeah.
And it's very serious, and the parents are just sort of silently looking at Takata, who's very sadly eating his dinner.
I totally forgot about that. I know the second part of this.
Yeah, so, in the English version, Takata comes home, and he says,
Mom, Dad, why are girls crazy? They're not. Their husbands make them that way.
Right. It's the other way around. Women have that crazy gene. They've done studies,
Uh-huh. Those must have been the same studies that discovered that pizza and cookies are good for you.
Right. You see, it's all very scientific.
Am I the only normal person in the world?
They just make it a joke about, haha, the battle of the sexes, lol, agenda, haha.
Isn't it great how we've brought the stereotype around that marriage is the worst thing you could ever do, and being in a long-term relationship will kill you?
Yeah, 100%. I'm surprised I'm sitting next to you right now,
Obviously.
Oh my god. So, it's also...
Don't you love wedding cakes where, the bride little figure is dragging the groom one, and he looks like he's dying?
I want one of those. And yeah, so I don't see why they had to make this dumb joke about, lol, marriage is terrible, women are terrible, their husbands are terrible to the women, and they make them each other crazy, yahaha. And it's just...
Because Americans can't take, the dark message of the first one.
Yeah, and obviously, Takata's not being bullied. He's, the girls make fun of him, but they're more making fun of Hikari Hirokazu. But people like Takado, and no one
Weirdly enough.
no one bullies Takado, because who would bully Takado? Like, oh my gosh.
You wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, he just like, okay, I like Digimon. I'm going to draw my Digimon OC now. They're removing this possible, worry that the parents have, like, oh my gosh, my child is being bullied. Which, I know, it reminds me of Ken's parents, how they're always like, oh god, he's going to run away whenever he went missing to the digital world. And it's just sort of...
It's an interesting subplot that they've replaced entirely with the parents really don't get along.
Yeah, and they had that...
No, we can't have a dog.
Yeah. And in the previous episodes, and she was using anti-aging cream, and the dad says, so I've been thinking, and the mum says, did it hurt? I'm like, why do they need to make them hate each other? They're just normal parents in the original.
Well, you can't cook or have a proper relationship.
And the dad, they eat the ice cream without Takado in the English version, like in the last episode that we saw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but at least they're
And the
getting
dad
along
already
when
ate
they
it,
do
yeah.
that.
I know, it's just, But... Though I have to say, at least they're giving them personalities. They don't... In the original, they're just parents.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the Hypnos people. The girls just sort of there.
Yeah, but they're functionaries. They're
Like,
not
I
really people.
could not tell you their names in
They're
the original.
machines. They're not really people.
They are Riley and Tally in the English version, and they have personalities because they sass each other and they sass Yamaki.
You can't sass Zippo, man. He's meant to be menacing.
Yeah, he's not. Well, in the English version, no one's menacing. And it's just, at least they're giving these side characters actual characters besides they're there, they say lines.
But some of them aren't meant to. I think that a creepy government organization where
Yeah.
people act like robots is much scarier than like, haha, Mondays, right?
Yeah. I mean, but as I said, I could not tell you their names in the original. And it's the same with the teacher. I don't know, I feel like maybe it's because
She just
she's
sounds
Kari,
like Kari to me.
But I feel like they give her more of a character as well, besides she is the teacher.
Also, she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want to be teaching.
Yeah, and she says, if life was fair, I'd be in Maui. So they give her these lines that make her more memorable and give her more of a character. And in the original, they're just sort of there. So I'm glad at least people are given characters, but I am annoyed that they removed the possible plot line of, Takado's being bullied, even though he's not.
Yeah.
But the parents might think he is. Because that's reasonable. Like, whenever I've ever come home and I'm a bit quiet, my parents are worried that something's gone wrong, even if I'm just tired.
So Kulamon finds Groundmon sleeping. He's like, let's go have fun. Yonamon's like, I probably shouldn't. And then he says, but it'll be fun. So he's like, alright. Yeah.
Yeah, I love how easy Groundmon is to convince.
He shows up at Takado's window, which is a bit shocking because Godzilla's outside his window.
It's really
Then he goes, Groundmon, what are you doing here? And he goes, Kulamon said we can play. It's time to play, right? And in English, I think he says 2 a.m. is the best time to play.
Yeah. He's you.
And then, yeah, he is me, isn't he? Takado goes, what are you talking about? No, it's not. Go away. And Kulamon's like, uh-oh, and just leaves.
Yeah.
And so Groundmon's sitting there like, uh-oh, did I do something wrong?
I love Groundmon.
So, he gets Henry, wakes him up,
Yeah.
apologizes, gets a momentai, and then they go down to the tunnel. To leave him there to sleep.
Yep.
At which point, Takado asks the very reasonable question, like, what if the big bubble opens up and tries to eat him again?
Which is a fair enough
Which
question.
Henry says, no, it won't.
How can he know that?
How could he possibly know?
I mean, we know that because we saw Hypnos destroy it with the thing, but they don't know that. They just think they got away.
Yeah, they have no idea what it was.
Yeah, but of course we know it's safe.
Yeah.
But they don't.
But even if they knew it was destroyed
Yeah.
once, it could have come back.
Yeah, we don't know how easy it is for them just to come back. So it's a fair enough concern. Like, well done, Takado.
Yeah, so he goes to sleep, and then Impmon shows up.
To ruin everything.
And he's just like poking him, and he's such a good voice in English. Like it's super super annoying.
Yeah.
It's just a small Devimon, right?
It's Devimon and Ken and Vmon.
No, what's his name?
Devimon.
Demi
yes.
Devimon.
But yeah, his voice actor does a lot. He's a good voice actor.
Yeah. He's a great one.
Yeah.
I like this stupid crap character.
No, Immon's good. I like Impon.
And he's trying to.
I mean, I wouldn't have paid $400 for him and a spoiler.
What?
There's a figure of him and a spoiler, and not a spoiler as in a
Does
part
he
of a
get
car.
a Digimon partner?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying there is a figure, and
I
it's
was
very expensive.
right.
I haven't paid for it yet because it hasn't been released, but I have put it down on
I
pre-order.
was right. I'm
not saying that you're right. I'm just saying
I was right.
it's Impmon and a spoiler figure.
I will be right.
It could be anything.
It could have just been Beelzemon. That'd be sad.
It could be Renamon.
No, that'd be stupid.
Oh, wait, you know about Beelzemon?
Yes?
It's Itmon and Beelzemon.
I was wrong. We've been over this like 3 times.
Yeah. I forget you know, like, my...
Sorry, no. It's Itmon and Bottomon. We've been over this.
Oh my god. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's how you know, right.
That art's so good.
Nobody move.
No, because the double shotgun is just Reaper from Overwatch. So he's like, death comes. It's reap. No, it's time to reap.
Beelzemon's an edgelord.
No, Bottomon's an edgelord.
Everyone's an edgelord.
I'm an edgelord.
You are an edgelord. You should be on Team Mystic.
What's Pokemon Go?
Pokemon go away.
So yeah, Itmon just bothers him and throws fireballs at him, which is dumb because we've seen Growlmon get his eyes go crazy and start to fight Digimon for doing less.
I think he's just getting better.
Maybe, I don't know, I just think he's a bit stupid.
I think he's growing up. Because we see, like, in, like, the first few episodes, he would just see Renamon and his eyes would go crazy and be like, it's fighting time. And now I feel like that's still sort of happening, like it happened with Digimon.
He did actually turn in fire stuff at him eventually.
Yeah. But
After I finally realized that Itmon goes bada boom every time in English.
Yeah, why not?
Which I have to assume, because of the way Digimon works, that is the name of the move.
I think so.
So yeah, then he just falls asleep outside. He doesn't go back to the tunnel.
Yeah.
He just falls asleep.
Yeah, because he's too tired. He goes, I'm tired now.
Doesn't de-evolve, though. He
No.
just goes to sleep.
Takado's parents are still concerned because Takado has run off. And Takado finds that Growlmon isn't where they left him in the tunnel. And then he goes to the school and he goes to Jen and says, Jen, Growlmon's not there. And then Terriermon says, I'll look for him.
No, he does not say that. Jen says, Terriermon, go look for him, would you? And he goes, yeah, alright. In English, however, he goes, yeah, alright. Not like I have a choice anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I love Terriermon.
Like, he's so upset in English. In Japanese, he's totally fine. He looks for him. He says pretty much nothing along the way.
Yeah.
And he sees him, he's like, there he is. Whereas in English, he's like, I'm fine, I'll do it. And then he goes and he goes, where are you, stupid dinosaur? You're so giant. Where'd you go? If I was a dinosaur, where would I be? Well, I wouldn't be, because that'd be dumb.
Yeah, I love him, though.
I love him, too, but like, why is he so angry?
His ear gets stuck in a bush.
That makes no sense.
I don't know, it's so cute.
How did that happen?
And then some adults walk past, and in the original, they're all lovey-dovey, like, oh, I love you, no, I love you. And they're all blushing and all happy. In the dub.
But honey, it's just a toupee.
Yes, but you wear it on your chest.
What?
I'm sure that exists.
What?
That must exist.
Oh, no, that they exist for all over the body.
Yes.
Yes.
Especially the back of the hand.
Behind my earlobe.
Yep, fair enough.
Then we see that all these kids are playing on top of Growlmon like he's a...
Like it's a slide.
Like a slide. It's so... Sleeping Digimon are
I
really
don't
cute.
know why they're not freaking out. He's not like he could have even like imitated a piece of playground equipment. He's moving. He's breathing.
I think when you're a kid, you just
No,
think that's
because there
playground.
are adults around.
Can we just say it's for the aesthetic? Also, do Digimon breathe?
Yes, of course they do.
But they're Digimon.
That's why only some of them can be underwater.
Okay, good point. That's actually really good. Yeah, good point. Okay, yeah, it's silly.
Also, we've been over this. They also need to eat.
Yeah. So the kids find Growlmon, as in Takado and Henry find Growlmon, and then he says that he got tired after running away from Itmon, and then we see a flashback where Itmon calls Growlmon Pineapple Head.
Actually, sorry, can I interrupt slightly?
Sure, go ahead.
I do watch these very fast.
You watched them fast again?
Today, because I was...
You left them until today again?
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Today I had less time than I thought because I had to get my car serviced and it took a couple hours more than I thought.
Yeah, because it was in
Werribee.
which is very far away.
Anyway, so I watch these fast sometimes. Today was one of those. And there's a bit where Terriermon runs back to get them and then they run to the park. I think they're meant to be running pretty... Like, they're like an accelerated comedic pace anyway. Watching that at 1.5 times speed is so funny. They're moving so fast. Anyway, continue.
Some adults walk past again, and in the dub, well, they don't talk in the original. They now say, yes, but he wears it on his chest. And there's these two women talking, so it's implied that this is one of these women is the one from before, and she's talking with her friend about how her boyfriend wears a toupee on his chest or something. I don't know. Jen suggests painting Growlmon, and then a really cute insert song is playing. It's Himawari, and it's a song. It's good. And in the dub, they just make all these jokes about how makeup's terrible and how it's a fate worse than death, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. They say
like,
exactly
okay.
that. It's
not
like makeup. No!
Yep. Yeah, gender is not good in the dub.
No, camouflage. Will it hurt? No, it's like makeup. Oh no! So they do paint him.
Yeah.
He looks really upset about it. He
Yeah.
does not look he's happy being painted. And then he twitches because he gets tickled, spills paint over both the kids,
Yep.
which is your screenshot of the week.
Yep.
Then he kicks, and then Terriermon's laughing at them, then he gets kicked, falls into a bucket, gets covered in paint, and that one's my screenshot that we just came up with independently.
Yeah.
He looks frazzled. He looks so cute.
I love it. I love this scene so much.
And then they eventually get him like painted pretty well in camouflage.
Yeah.
They test it, they get him to go hide, and they can't find him, which is pretty good. And they have this very similar joke of like, Grandma, where are you? And in Japanese he goes, I'm here, and they look around. Or like, if I told you, it wouldn't be hiding. And then Ruki shows up and is like, you guys are stupid. Digimon for fighting, not for
Digimon are friends, food, not fight.
Yeah, no.
Wait, fight, not friends.
Yeah, they're for fighting, not for hiding. And they're like, no, Digimon are friends or whatever. And then he's cut off by Rain.
Yeah.
Renamon does a really good job of just instantly finding out where he is, because that's her job. She's a ninja after all. Oh, she does a really funny joke when, well, I don't know. Really funny might be over-describing it. But basically, Ruki shows up, and then you hear, Phew! And like, Renamon shows up.
Yeah.
Does the instant transmission thing, a la
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. And I think Staccato goes, do you do that just to scare us? Or do you come out of nowhere, just to frighten us or something? Like, implying that her whole ninja shtick is just to bother them.
Why not?
I'm sure it was better than that, actually, in my head.
No, I think it was like that.
To scare them in general. Anyway, so they look at Growlmon, and here's the biggest change of the episode is here.
Yeah.
As far as the theming of the whole thing. And the overall message, which is basically, you see Guillimon's like, hey, guys, and he looks really, really sad, and his paint starts to run because of the rain. And then Takata looks at him. They're both looking really sad. Takata begins to cry.
Yeah.
And in the original Japanese, he basically realizes, I'm a crap tamer.
Yeah.
I'm really not doing good by my Digimon here. He's been really upset this whole time, and I'm just not doing a good job. And he runs over, and they are sad. He is crying like a huge baby. But, like, it's a fairly touching moment. The English, however, Rika, out of nowhere says, this is what you get for using water-based paints! You should have used... And then, then Takano's entire speech and sadness is, I can't afford oil-based paint. I can only use water-based. Everything I do doesn't turn out well. And he's just crying for himself.
Yeah.
He's sad about him being a failure.
Instead
and he
of-
has no connection to Guilmon here. It has to do with the paint.
Yeah, in the original it's more like, I have failed my partner. I'm not a good tamer. Ruki's right, because Ruki's always saying, you're not a good tamer. And so he's just saying, she's right, I'm not a good tamer. I can't get my Digimon to de-evolve. Gargomon de-evolved in a few hours. Cubimon probably also only took a few hours.
Not only did Gargomon de-evolve in a few hours, but Jen knew how to make him do it.
Doing handstands with his ears.
But he had like a plan.
Yeah.
With his handstands with his hands, with his guns.
Yeah.
His ears are just floppy.
I think in the dub he says he was using his ears. Yeah, you're right.
Which is weird, because he's cheating by using his feet on the tree.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, this just changes the final end message, where it could have been like a cool watershed moment for the character. Instead, in English, it is worthless. It is completely waste of your time. Then, the rainstorm, a very heavy rainstorm, ends. It has only been 30 seconds. In which all
have
the
you
clouds
been to Melbourne?
In which all the clouds showed up, the rain happened, and then they all emptied into blue sky.
Okay, 100% that happened on Wednesday.
Yes,
I think.
but we're in Melbourne.
That's
They're
normal.
in Tokyo.
Because, I was looking outside, it was sunny. 5 seconds later, bucketing down.
Yeah, but is that a Tokyo
And
thing?
then, like, 1 minute later, bright sunny
No,
sky.
we're used to that here, because our temperature is weird.
Yeah, Melbourne's a weird
But
place.
other places are more consistent.
I'm not even sure if Melbourne exists.
It's a Silent Hill. And then
Can I just point
there's a
out...
rainbow.
Can I point out that Terriermon suggests moving to Antarctica in the dub?
That is a weird thing for me
Yeah.
to say. So there's a rainbow. At which point, in Japanese, they very quietly just are there, and then Kulamon is there, I think, smiling.
And also a song called Primary Colors plays, which is sung by Ruki, Takato, and Jen.
Sure.
It's very cute.
And then
'Cause they're
he
primary
just
colours.
de-evolves. Okay. And it's weird, and I've written in my notes, do they need to have a rainbow every time he wants to de-evolve? Then, watching the English version, they specifically say, this is a digital rainbow.
Yeah.
It's absorbing his additional data
No,
so
yeah,
he can
Jen
de-evolve.
thinks that.
It's the stupidest theory ever. And Terriermon's yelling stuff in the background, including very
so much.
specifically, does this mean we need a rainbow every time?
And I'm like, good point, Terriermon.
It's a really good point. It's so stupid.
And also when Jen says, it's weird, it's like the rainbow's absorbing it. And Terriermon says, it's not as weird as what I found between Gilmon's toes when I was painting him.
And then Terriermon at the end's like, is anyone listening to me? Is anyone
I'm
at all?
listening to you, Terriermon. You have valid points.
I love the stupid green rabbit. It's the best.
What do you think of this episode as someone who is new to Digimon?
Okay, so it's kind of a huge waste of time in a general sense, in that, like, beginning to end, all you're doing is trying to de-evolve your Digimon. A thing that used to be annoying when it happened is now a struggle the opposite direction.
And we already had that in the Gargomon episode. We know that it's a struggle.
We addressed it in Gargomon's
Yep.
episode to an extent already. And just, it's weird because, I don't know, it tried to address him making the design for Growlmon, which makes no sense because he didn't scan it. And I would say English 100% is a massive waste of time because at the end of it, it's all self-pity.
Yeah.
Whereas at least something is furthered slightly. It could have taken a couple minutes in a better episode to make this happen rather than a full episode to do it, but fine.
Yep.
You furthered the fact that Takado thinks he's a crap tamer. That's an interesting thing to do. I don't think anyone in Season 1 and 2 had the problem with, like, I'm crap with my Digimon.
Yeah.
No one thought that, because they're all symbiotic. They're all one person, just like in two bodies. Whereas in this one, you are handling a wild animal. And you don't know what it's going to do.
Also, it's a big, scary dinosaur.
And especially in this case, yeah.
Yeah, and the start of the episode, it's not like Growlmon's smiling at him like he was, in the second and first episode when he's like a happy dinosaur. This is a dinosaur that just absorbed a Digimon and was basically out of control. So, and we've also seen Terriermon evolve to Gargomon, who becomes out of control completely.
He's so cute.
What if Growlmon's also out of control? So we don't know that, and there is that sort of worry of, is Growlmon going to try to hurt Takado?
I still think that evolution is handled so weird in this season.
Yeah, it's trying to like reinvent the show a bit, and that's fine.
I think it's been good.
Yeah, it's improving on a lot of things. What do you rate this episode?
My initial rating was a 5. However, having thought about it, I think that the Japanese might raise to a 6.
I gave it a 6.5, and I think I'm going to stay at a 6.5. Like, it's not a terrible episode.
Where does that 0.5 come from?
I don't know. I feel like... I know it had some points, like the whole... Is Takado being bullied? Like, his parents thinking that. And Takado worrying about not being a good tamer, which...
That's what the 1 over the 5 is.
Have any of the partners ever done that before?
I don't think so.
Like,
Until recently.
Taichi did. Taichi worried about not being a good leader and being bad
being a
to
good
Agumon
leader.
after he, Skullgreymon happened and he was kind of worried about evolving.
Oh, there was one time when I think he fed Agumon too much.
When he evolved to Skullgreymon, yes.
It was just being fat.
That was Skullgreymon.
Was it the same
he
episode?
forces him to... He force feeds him a lot and then he gets Skullgreymon,
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
And I guess we saw Miyako... not caring about Hawkmon and then learning that she should care about Hawkmon, but that was about it. In the episode where Hawkmon gets hurt.
Pretty weak.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've seen a character actually say, I need to try and be a better partner. Because we've never really seen that before. How did this episode compare to what you thought about it in Obnoxious Synopsis?
Obviously I thought it'd be about devolving, and I thought that Takado was gonna, talk about how...
Terrible evolution is.
Your notes about what I said are awful.
Yeah, because I was trying to write them quietly on my keyboard, because I can't because Evernote has this thing where you can only have it on 2 devices now.
Right.
So I couldn't...
Like Netflix.
I couldn't type it on my... No, Netflix is at one time.
Oh, okay.
This is overall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Registers the device.
So I couldn't type it on my phone, so I had to type it very quietly on my computer, so my notes are not that good. But yeah, it means how terrible evolution is.
Also, I was half asleep when I did this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you were very sweepy.
So I said that Grandma would be uncontrollable, and that was wrong. He just is a big Gilmon.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because I'm pretty... Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think that Gargomon is necessarily a big personality change. I think it's just his personality put into a body that can do it.
I think that's what he wants to do the whole time.
It's really concerning.
You're not listening to me, says Terriermon.
Which is to say that if Terriermon found a gun, just a normal gun on the ground, no one is safe.
Yeah. No, he's like Maggie.
You can't de-evolve a gun.
Isn't he just like Maggie Simpson from The Simpsons?
Sorry, no, I'm dying. You can't de-evolve a gun.
Okay. You can if you bottom on.
No, then you make a second one. Oh, well, look at that. I said that it would annoy me if Takato didn't come to the conclusion that there needs to be a better tamer, and that is the case for the English one. That was really accurate.
Yeah, but in the original, we're mainly talking about, like, when we think about if an episode is good, we mainly take into account the original, but sometimes the English version can improve on some things. Like, as I said, I appreciate how they're giving side characters more characterization.
Now, I guess it'd be an 8 because I thought that the incident, which is what you told me, would be a big deal, but it's not an incident. It's a mess.
Yeah.
And that's, there's nothing really to it.
What was the biggest difference that you noticed?
I discussed it already. It's the primary message of the episode. Takato is a failure Takato is a failure in a general sense, and he has a lot of self-pity, or he feels he is a bad tamer because he feels he's let down his Digimon, who he feels bad for because that Digimon is sad.
Yep.
One shows self-pity and sadness and just, like, personal bad stuff, and the other one is, like, empathy and, like, positive growth.
Yeah.
They're very different episodes if you look at them at their end messages.
Yeah, and also there's that scene about the kids being bullied playing on the TV.
That's not core to the episode, though.
I know, I feel like it's still a big change, though, but it's mainly the message of Takato is worried that he's not a good tamer. The Icemon cometh, or Renamon is my friend. Ruki's hesitation starts with Hypno's dealing with something that's big again, and they say, it's bigger than usual.
Hypno's just... It's been like Hypnos, because like Greek or whatever.
Yeah.
Hypno's just sounds like there's a bunch of Pokemon hanging around.
The
There's just a bunch of Hypnos. They're not very good.
In the dub, Yamaki jokes about how he doesn't know what it is, but it's bigger than a bread box.
It's not hard for things to be bigger than a bread box.
It's the 20 questions thing.
It is.
We see that Ruki's listening to music, and she's remembering how Gilmon evolved, and wonders how Gilmon evolved without having ever loaded any Digimon's data. Then she wonders what evolution is, and then she suddenly feels a presence behind her, and Calmon shows up.
It loaded the data of those rats. Also, in like the first 3 minutes of this episode, almost 4 minutes, I would say there's 10 to 20 seconds of actual new animation.
Yep. No,
they go so hard on the flashbacks.
Yeah. And as always, there's more talking in the dub, and which is the same, but she doesn't actually mention the absorbing the data. Like, that aspect's left, so it's... While in the original, she's wondering, you know, we load all the data, we go out and find Digimon, we fight them, and then we absorb their data. We've loaded it so many times, how come they could evolve?
It seems really obvious that that's not the way to go about it.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to start a fire, and you've been punching a tree really hard.
Yeah.
We've punched every tree. How come you started a fire with those rocks?
Yeah.
I don't get it. How could you have started a fire? I punched the tree.
Yeah. And in the dub, she's just thinking about how she feels like she's not satisfied, even though her Renamon evolved and that's all she's wanted. She's not feeling satisfied, and she's feeling like she's missing something. So obviously, it's friendship that she's missing.
It's really obvious.
It's a completely different turn. While in the original, she's saying, how come they could evolve by loading data, and you know, Renamon evolved after Terriermon did? And she's evolved so much data, and then Gilmon hadn't loaded it all, and he was still able to evolve. And in the dub, it's, what am I missing? Why aren't I satisfied?
Yeah, which is, they're both quite clear, but at least one of them misleads you.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're getting a lot of mileage, I think I mentioned that.
Terriermon and Jen are both reading books. Simon's watching from the window and is disgusted. I just think it's a really cute scene of Terriermon and Jen reading.
It is, but it's a weird thing for Imon to say, like, oh man, he's acting like a human, that's gross. I'll just adjust my gloves and scarf.
Yep. And
that's not like a human at all.
Also, Imon seems to like watching people with their Digimon partners.
He does like doing that.
Yeah. Ruki's still walking around, and Calamon's following her.
It just wants a hug really bad.
It jumps into her arms, and it just sort of giggles, because that's basically all of what Calamon does. In the dub, Calamon says, Eskimo kisses!
That's cute. Then Ruki's mom shows up.
Yep.
And, you know, she has a short conversation with her about work, or whatever it is.
About how she wants Ruki to do a photo shoot with her?
Yeah. And it's they have this great gag, one of my favourite ones of the episode, of the crowd around them just looking between the mom and the photos of, like, a model on the wall. It's like, what? What?
And in the dub, they're talking, which I think, for some reason, doesn't make it as comedically funny.
Yeah, no, I like that
because it has,
silent.
like, the silence of, huh? sort of as a background thing, instead of we hear them whispering, "Oh, is it her? It looks like her." And I feel like it's not needed.
So there is a small yet there is a subtle yet important difference of the ending of this scene.
Yep.
Where the mom notices Kulamon in Ruki's arms.
Yep.
In the Japanese, she says, "I didn't know you were interested in those sorts of things."
Yep.
And in English, she says, "That's a cute toy you have there." The distinction there is that one is focused on the child's interests.
Yeah.
And she feels like she's learning something about her child,
Yeah.
and it shows that she's noticed something and that there's an effort there. The other one is just, that's a cute thing, and on like a really basic level.
Yeah.
I know what cute things are. And this is reflected a bit further later on as well.
Well, it's in general the mum doesn't seem as observant. So while in the original she's saying, "Oh yeah, we have a photo shoot together, and because I want you to be involved in this thing," and that's fine. In the dub, there's no mention of this photo shoot with Rika. The mum's just saying, "Oh, it's so hard to be a famous model. Oh, life is so hard for me," and it's just I know it's all about her. And she's not actually saying, "Oh, Ruki, it'll be so great for us to do a shoot together. I want to learn more about you. Oh, I didn't realize you were interested in that sort of cute thing." So she's very self-centered in the dub, while in the original she's saying, "Oh yeah, I want to involve my daughter. I want to learn more about her." And it's like when the scene where we saw her talking to Ruki a few episodes ago, and when she's like, playing cards, and she's like, "Oh, it's so good to see something that you're interested in." And in the dub, it was just, when I was your age, I knew I was already working and I knew what I wanted to be. You should focus on what you want to be. Instead of, her caring about her. I don't know why they had to do that.
Yeah. So you see Ruki at home.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, is the Inmon bit now? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool.
No, it's a bit...
Oh.
So Ruki's yelling at Calamon for following her.
Oh, yeah.
And in the dub, Rika says she's immune to cutesy wootsy. And I don't know why she had said it like that, but she did.
Oh, she makes Kulamon cry in the English.
I know. Who would
He
do
just
that?
cries and runs off. And
Yeah.
then she feels like a ghost presence behind her.
Yeah.
So she feels afraid, so Renamon shows up, because Renamon's pretty good like that. At which point, Impmon shows up and says, in the Japanese, something along the lines of, "Hey, Terriermon wants to fight you," which Renamon very naturally goes, "Terriermon doesn't fight. That's stupid. You're clearly lying."
Yeah.
Whereas, in the English, he says, "Terriermon thinks you're stupid poopy head," or whatever it was. And then the response was, "No, Terriermon doesn't fight." That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Terriermon insults people all the time. He could totally legitimately have said that.
Yeah, which he probably has.
Yeah, so
this is probably a direct quote.
I think it shows that she's clever, that she thought, he doesn't fight. I know you're lying because of this, and that's so obvious. But, he insulted you. He probably did.
It somewhat seems like a non sequitur because Renamon still says the same thing in both versions.
I understand there's a connecting dot here, which is, okay, the expectation is I would defend my honor by fighting him, but he doesn't fight, so he doesn't fight.
Yeah, but
There's
she
no
doesn't
reason
say
for me to
that. She
respond.
just says, "Oh, he doesn't fight."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Also, I don't know why they changed it.
I don't know why either.
I mean, we know that Terriermon speaks badly about everybody.
It does. Oh, he's so cute.
I love him. He's the best.
And then I've written down in my notes, I really hope Terriermon beats the crap out of Impmon. It'll be great. And anyway, continuing.
We see Ruki's mum is showing her very ugly dresses.
Yeah.
Which is presumably for the shoot, but it's not really said. Then the mum says, "Oh, what happened to that toy you were holding?" And Ruki says, "Oh, what I was holding earlier was just a gift from some guy at the park."
Yeah.
So it's a reference that she has fans because she's such a well-known card player.
Yeah.
In the dub, she just says, "Oh, it was for a science project, and I had to just throw it off a bridge."
To see the effect of gravity.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, they're both... Those extrapolate a little bit further in Japanese, but really, they're both just excuses. What I focused on more was the mom's reaction, whereas in English, I'm pretty sure she's just like, "Oh, okay, well, alright. Talk about dresses, whatever."
Yeah.
Whereas in the Japanese, she's very clear like, "Oh, I thought that, that was something she liked. I guess she's still doing..." No, in English she says, "I guess she's still doing tomboy chic. Oh well," dusts her hands of it.
Yeah.
This one's like, "Oh, okay." And then she looks disappointed, like she thought she'd learned something. She thought she had, maybe a point of reference with her daughter that she...
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, maybe if she likes cute things, maybe she'll like this cute dress with a bear on it."
Not even that, just being able to relate.
Yeah.
Maybe she liked cute things when she was young and she can at least understand that.
Yeah, but in the dub it's like, "Oh, it's just a phase." But in the original she's like, "I want to learn more about my daughter." Because, Ruki's a very, inside person. She's insular and she just wants to go into her room and doesn't speak much about herself. So her mum's very different and wants to learn about her daughter, which is fine.
Yeah, the English makes her seem much more of like a weird airhead, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
She might be able to cook, though.
She's
actually.
a girl.
Who knows? She might be able to cook.
The grandma does the cooking, though.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
So speaking of going into her room, she gets ghosted out again, freaks out, runs to her room, and then Renamon shows up. Then she goes something along the lines of, "Why do you care?" He goes, "Well, we're partners." "What do you mean, partners?"
Yeah.
Which is weird. We had a whole episode about this.
Yeah, which
In which it ended up with her evolving.
Yeah,
And you were like, I totally get it.
is, her admitting that we need each other, that we're partners. And I just, it feels like that episode didn't exist.
I mean, but it got flashed back to.
Yeah, except for the evolving, it just feels like it just didn't exist. But I guess a bit more on that later. So in the dub, Rika's upset that Renamon wants to protect her and that she doesn't need Renamon or anybody.
That's not true.
Yeah.
She's physically afraid of something.
Yeah,
she does need
she's
protection.
super needs Renamon. And then she says, well, I don't just get this partners and feelings thing. I don't need you. I don't need anybody. And she walks off. And it's just like, aww.
Yeah.
And it's sad because it's like, I know that you want to do things yourself and you want to feel independent, but you hurt your feelings of your fox.
Now, this next thing we cut to with Takato is probably one of my favorite things in the episode.
Yep.
And also, it's something that I think that could have used its own full episode. I don't think needing to get Gramon needed a full episode. I think this could have taken a full one, and it would have been really funny. It's Takato working on his card/stance and and to make it stylish.
Yeah.
And just be like, "Is that good?" And Jen's like, I don't know.
No, but Jen also says, it doesn't matter. The stance doesn't matter.
No, it does, though.
You know what matters? The strategy. And then there's Jen with his bloody
Sentai.
Power Rangers thing.
It actually totally matters. We know this because it is always more power. The card slash has only ever won battles after doing the big stylish thing. It totally matters.
Yeah, because we've seen Takato card slash before.
Yeah.
But it hasn't done
It's
anything.
never ever done anything. Anyway, so Immon shows up, and because he's thought to himself before when he with the Renamon talk, and now again, Terriermon doesn't fight. That means I can bother him and hurt him, and he can't do anything to me.
And he calls Terriermon-chan, so he must like him.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So then he throws although it might be like Zootopia, where you can't call bunnies cute if you're not a bunny.
That's the only part I know about that movie. I really need to watch that movie.
Me too.
Also, can I point out in the dub, when Itmon shows up, Terriermon says, "You're lucky you can't smell him." Terriermon, jeez.
Yeah, so Immon shows up, and then they're like, "Okay, well, we're leaving. Terriermon, don't hit him. We're gonna go." And Terriermon keeps looking back, like he's gonna start something. He's like, "No, we're going." He's like, oh, "Okay, fine." Itmon throws a fireball, and Terriermon, no hesitation, turns around and instantly tornadoes him.
Yep.
And then he team rockets him across the city.
Yep.
And Jen's like, "I told you couldn't hit him." And he goes, "I didn't hit him. I sent him on a trip."
Yeah, it's like, I sent him on a journey. I love him so much.
It's like, "You clever dick."
That's the best line. I sent him on a journey.
Or the English is similar. It's, I didn't hit him.
Yeah, I didn't actually touch him, I'm like, oh, I love you,
Because it was like a
Terriermon.
tornado. So, yeah, Ruki's running around like a subway station at this stage.
I think so, yeah. And she's chasing after him, and then,
She's freaking out about like feeling like she's being chased.
And then, she says, "Get away from me!" And it turns out she's just yelling at these men who are behind her, and they're just like, ah.
They're like, okay. Then she gets abducted by these big ice hands.
Spirited away by the Icemon.
Yes, exactly.
And it's really creepy because IceDevimon has the same voice as Devimon in Adventure.
And I'm thinking, this is a really interesting story that, a Digimon isn't directly the answer. If you're being chased by, a ghost, a Digimon can't, stop this thing. It's actually got a lot of tension to it. And then, IceDevimon wrapped his rings around Ruki, and I've literally written here, before he says it, I want him to be like, "Why didn't you pick me? I should have been your partner." And then it was.
It's so good.
It was, "You're the strongest trainer. I want to be the strongest Digimon. Let's be partners. I know you have one already, but screw it. They're terrible."
Yeah.
The line specifically is, why have beauty when you can be with the beast?
Yeah, it's that's in the dub though, but it's extremely
It's a
creepy.
great line.
This whole thing is very creepy.
Oh, it is.
And in the dub, it seems like she's under more of a trance.
He's half brainwashing her.
Yeah.
But not completely. And I think this is really interesting where, again, we sort of have dissension between Digimon and partner, where Renamon, she calls out for Renamon at some stage when she sort of remembers.
Yeah.
Renamon stands up, goes, "Huh? wait a minute, she didn't want to be partners. Oh, what an ass. And then just sits back down.
Yep.
And doesn't go to help.
And in the dub, it's really weird because IceDevimon has the same voice as Matt.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I was sitting there expecting Devimon's voice to show up.
Which you get in the original.
Which is deep and,
Yeah.
whatever. No, it's just a whiny Matt voice with, like, voice filters on. Like,
Why
I want
did
to be
you
your
pick
partner.
me?
God damn it, Ty!
I'll punch you.
You should see my new band, Ice of Day.
Teenage Ice Wolves.
Was it World on the Edge of an Ice?
Edgelord on the knife.
Oh my god, he's such an edgelord. Also,
I've really used that word far too much, the word edgelord.
I noticed that he has all the Digimon he has in, like, ice he has all these Digimon, like, trapped in ice on the wall, on the ceiling, which freaks Ruki out quite a bit. They're all, like, normal Digimon we saw around in Season 1.
Yeah.
They're, like, the inhabitants of the digital world in, like, a general sense.
Yeah.
Which he refers to a bit later as, I've absorbed so many Digimon's data, look at them.
Yeah, so it's not technically absorbing.
How could he have absorbed their data if they're right there?
I actually like in the dub how IceDevimon says they could even be people's partners. So it's saying, these Digimon could have had human partners. I like that addition. I like that addition.
That one's the Digi-Destiny Dingo
No,
of Australia.
In the dub, IceDevimon says that this place is cold and heartless like Rika, and then says that you're terrible and awful, and that's why we belong together. I'm
That's
like, wow.
so rough.
Yeah.
It's so mean.
Then Ruki realizes herself, I want to point out, in the original, that using Digimon just for strength is disgusting, and then she realizes that that's exactly what she's been doing.
I just want a strong Digimon.
Yeah.
Renamon, I guess. Okay, I mentioned this to you before the show, but now that I remember it, there's a huge, huge difference between IceDevimon and regular Devimon. IceDevimon doesn't have a nose. If you look at original Devimon, he's got a mask on, they both do, but his mask either has a dip down in the center, like a little sharp bit, which is his nose, or straight front on it is clearly peaked and there's a shadow there. This one is straight round and nothing.
IceDevimon might be slightly more skeletal?
No, that's just his white.
Yeah.
He's the same shape.
Anyway, so in the dub, instead of Ruki realizing herself that is exactly what she's doing, IceDevimon says, look, I do what you do, and IceDevimon's telling her that this is like what she does. She doesn't make the connection herself.
Yes, which isn't as good.
And then, Ruki gets mad, and in the dub, IceDevimon says, and this is something that's really creepy, he's like, it's so exquisite when you get mad. I'm like, jeez, this is really creepy.
So he's like, well, call Renamon, I'll kill her, and that way, I'll be your partner. I'll show you that I'm stronger. Then she doesn't call Renamon, and then he displays a power that I didn't know Devimon had, which is psychic lasers.
Yeah, just call it. Okay, why not?
If he had that power, I don't know, I feel like Season 1 would have gone a little bit different, maybe.
Oh, he'd just call all of them and kill... He'd call Patamon and kill Patamon, right?
It would have been sick.
It would have been heartbreaking, but alright.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Jen and Ducato arrive. In the dub, Henry makes a dumb joke about how they will get creamed because of the ice.
Ice creamed?
It's ice creamed. IceDevimon freezes Gilmon and Terriermon, which, why not? That seems like a good plan to freeze them before they evolve, so that's smart.
Yeah, well, it was.
Ruki thinks that Renamon won't come because of what she said to her, and then IceDevimon says that Jen and Ducato are bad impressions on her because she treats Renamon like a friend. In the dub, he just taunts her and doesn't really mention this part, which I really like, because IceDevimon says in the original... it's just like you've just had a fight with your friend and you don't want to see each other. You're treating her like a friend. She's a partner. And I don't know why they don't mention it, but they don't in the dub. And then Renamon shows up.
No, well, I mean, Jen tries to use Meramon card to, like, melt the ice around.
Yeah.
And I really thought that would work, actually. I'm surprised it didn't.
No, but Space Bunny does.
Space Bunny is the best, but that's a little bit afterwards. So Renamon does show up, and pretty handily loses to IceDevimon pretty much immediately.
Yep.
They say something along the lines of, like, she needs to evolve, and then Ruki says the weirdest thing, which is, I don't want Renamon to evolve because she'll end up like IceDevimon.
I think she
What
means...
does that mean?
She doesn't want her to fight because she doesn't want her to absorb the Digimon because she'll be like...
That's not true. There's no way that's what she means.
I know, but I feel like she's just scared of fighting because she just doesn't want to be like IceDevimon because he's just so awful.
I feel like it was focused on the issue of evolution, but she's seen Cubimon before. If Cubimon had never shown up before, and this was the first time evolution had happened. This would be so impactful and interesting.
Yeah, so
because their personalities do kind of change.
Yeah, like the Takugamon episode, like, shouldn't have existed. Like, it was a good episode, but I feel like this would be a better episode instead of that.
In hindsight, that episode is bad because of this one.
Yeah.
At the time, it was good.
Yeah, and when I was younger, I thought that for some reason, these two episodes merged to be one episode because they were just pretty similar in tone. And that's just how, when you're a little kid and there's episodes that are similar in tone, they just sort of merge together and become one episode. So it's just weird that they were playing pretty much the same tone. Then IceDevimon says that... No, IceDevimon's taunting Ruki a bit, and then Ruki says that Renamon's her friend, and then Renamon evolves, and because Renamon is shaped like a friend.
However,
Yep.
it's very clear, again, it actually has nothing to do with the friendship. It's just that Kulimon showed up.
Yep, and I have it in my notes that this is Renamon, You're My Friend, Part 2.
It is. And then Cubimon has a short fight with IceDevimon in which he freezes fire.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't stop the fire, it freezes into blocks and then falls. It's totally nonsensical. Then Jen breaks Terriermon out by making him into a big fat space bunny.
I love it.
With Cosmic Boom.
I love it so much.
It's so silly, and he pops out and he lands and he's still fat.
Yeah, I love him.
And then Takato does the card slash.
Finally, he gets a full card slash
Oh,
animation.
Cubimon loses.
Yeah, Cubimon loses. Takato gets a full card slash animation 10 episodes in.
Yeah.
This is his first.
And he does... The first one is extra speed, the second one is wings,
Yeah.
and the third one is...
Does he do a third one? I thought he only did two.
It's some kind of attack, I think it was.
Oh, I thought he just used this normal fireball attack.
Oh, maybe he did.
Yeah.
I feel like he did something after the wings. I don't know. I could be misremembering.
I don't know.
Either way, the point is that basically Gilmon can beat an adult level Digimon when Cubimon can't.
Yeah, but I think Cubimon couldn't because she was probably under stress because of the whole fighting with Ruki thing.
Also,
and
I
their
noticed
connection wasn't super strong.
Yeah, Ruki didn't card slash at all, which is super weird.
Well, I think she was kind of busy being, creeped on by an Iceman.
No, because the Iceman was busy fighting. She was no longer being creeped on.
He is not very nice Iceman.
He's not a nice man.
He is not a nice man.
Nice Devimon. How cool would Nice Devimon be? He'd be like blue.
No, he'd be wearing a fedora.
Oh.
Medigi-destined.
Way to ruin that one. However, yeah, I kind of wish they'd built up the full card slash more
Yeah.
with a full episode of, like, I'm not doing it right.
I know, but they
Like, a
sort
full
of did. They
no,
sort of did.
Yeah, they did. They definitely introduced it, but I want, like, a full comedy episode of, like, I'm really trying to get it, and they're like, it doesn't matter as long as it's in your heart. It's like, no, it's about the stance.
But in the Growlmon episode, he's just swiping them normally, and they're saying, what are you doing, buddy? Buddy, what you doing? And then the next episode is where he's like, he's sort of slashing it, but he doesn't have his stance right, and then he's trying to practice with Jen.
No,
Really cute.
it's subtle, and it's well done, but I think that they could have made it a much funnier joke that way.
Also, I really like IceDevimon's face when he gets killed. It's very stretched.
Also, in the English, I'm surprised they keep in, like, the very violent death. He's exploded into pieces. His dismembered arm flies at the camera.
Really? Is
Yes.
that violent? Oh, I just thought he
No,
buzzes off.
he's busted into pieces.
Oh, fair enough.
And then they leave the ice house, and Ruki just goes, I hate Digimon. Ugh. I mean, I guess it's fair because she was abducted, and then it's not so fair because she was saved.
Yeah, and then, she walks off and Cubimon goes the other way, and it's super sad, really.
Which is weird, because she just admitted that it was her friend.
I know, but I think the reason Ruki's throwing a tanty is because she's kind of embarrassed that, one, Jen and Dakota needed to save her.
Yeah.
Two, Cubimon didn't actually win.
Yeah.
And three, she vocally said that someone was her friend.
Okay, so I'm going to rewind just a little bit because I forgot to mention Gilmon absorbed
Yes.
Icemon's data.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird.
Well, we saw Growlmon did to Diginews.
Yeah, no, but he was in like a weird feral state at the time.
Yeah, this time-
This one, he was fully in control.
And I feel like Takato should have had like a reaction to that, saying, "Oh no, he's absorbing," but he
I mean,
doesn't.
he was really evil.
Yeah, he was evil. So it wasn't just, he's not just hunting Digimon, at least he's evil, and it's probably a good thing he doesn't get reincarnated if he's, There are some Digimon you don't want to come back, really.
Yeah. But you were right, like, what's his name? Ruki really sounds like someone who's played a game for a really long time.
Yeah.
Magic is a really good example because I'm going to be playing that more
Yeah.
tonight. Or like a fighting game is a really good example because people get salty over that. But you play for a long time and you're doing really well and then you lose a match. and you lose a match you don't think you should have lost, and you throw everything you've got down, or you flip a table and you say, "This game is stupid. I hate this game." You know, you've put a lot of time into it, and you've put a lot of effort, and you're very good at it.
Yeah.
But now, because things didn't go your way, certain people...
Yeah, so it's 100% understandable why she says, I hate Digimon, even though that's obviously not the case. She's just upset that she needed help, she didn't win, and she admitted that someone was her friend. And those are three things that...
I would always be angry if I made a friend.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
It's just, those three things are very, like, you know, against her character. Usually she'll just come in and say, yeah, you guys are having a problem with this Digimon, I'm going to come in and beat him in one blast. And then that was her character. And, you know, she didn't need help, she'd win straight away, and she doesn't have friends. And now, all of a sudden, three things happen to her that are just so different from her actual, like, her character. She's just upset by it. So I think it's a reasonable explosion that she has.
Boo, friends. I hate friends. And Digimon.
But I'm your friend.
It's weird that Cubimon feels that way, though. Cubimon should have followed and be like, yo.
I know, but I think Cubimon understands that Ruki needs time alone, and she's having a moment.
Cubimon's the only adult in the show.
What do you think of this episode as someone who was new to Digimon?
I thought this episode, if the other one hadn't happened, was really, really excellent. Probably a 10. Yeah. But because the other one happened, it's a 9.
What did I give it? I gave it... No, that was... What? Wait, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Would be a 9.
You downgraded it way more than me.
Yeah, I said 6 out of 10. It would be a 9, but it's just the same as the Kugamon episode. It's better than it, but it's the same idea. So... I guess the 6 is a bit harsh because it's a good episode.
Everything about this episode was done like perfectly. It set up Takado's thing nice and subtly with the card slashing, which I guess doesn't necessarily deserve a full episode, but they delayed it long enough that I wish it had gotten more. Her problem with IceDevimon was like it was an issue.
It was creepy.
It was creepy, and there was a lot of tension to it. Then it came out, and it kind of made sense, and you could see his reasoning for that. And everything's sort of there, except it kills my theory about it, how she was just looking at her card binder.
Yeah. Though...
No, he could have just found out.
He could have just been a... Because we have seen that cards do become real.
And I really like when Digimon show that they are people, that they are themselves. I liked the entire Impmon bit. Everything about that was great.
And Terriermon.
Yeah, I just thought this worked out really well, and I like when they use cards that are more than just like increased power, increased speed. I want to see what you did with it.
Yeah, but this episode was hurt by the Dokugamon episode, which
was severely hurt.
We gave a high score to that from memory.
Yeah,
we liked it. It was a good episode,
fine.
but it's a bad episode because of this episode.
If you read 2 books in a row, both of which are excellent, but they have the same plot, the second one is going to suffer.
Yeah, even though the second one might have been better than the first.
Yeah. Which is what this feels like. To me, though, I guess I'm being more generous for once.
Yeah.
Where like...
No, I agree with you. I think I shouldn't have been that harsh on it.
I thought the Dokugamon was pretty forgettable because it is just find monster, fight monster. Whereas this one, something happens and there's a lot more stuff around it. Dokugamon
was like it. Yes, it spoke in the dub, but it did not have a voice in the original because it was just a monster. It wasn't going out to attack anyone. This Digimon was actively stalking the character, so it had that suspense, and it reminds me a bit of the Call of Cthulhu episode.
A little bit,
which I will always call Call of Cthulhu for some reason, even though it's Call of Digimon.
Yeah, so I think that if this had been the first time that Cubimon had showed up, this would be probably the best episode of the season.
Well, so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully they get better.
Ideally.
Yeah, and it's just... Well, speaking of it, since you said that this is the best episode...
I don't know, there's 10 episodes and I can't remember them all.
And I'm just saying, do you think it's better than any... Like, it's 100% better than all the episodes of Zero to an Adventure?
It's better than every episode of Zero Two, no question. I think that its plotting, if it weren't for the running over the same stuff before, it is arguably similar to playing Playing games is very specific. It's really hard to match that as far as plot goes. Yeah. But it does have a lot of... Its side stuff was worthless.
Yeah.
Which is just them fighting Kiwimon or whatever it was. Worthless.
Yeah.
Whereas this side stuff was all excellent.
Yeah, because Impmon, it was Takada, it was Jen, and that came up. It was really
Whereas the main story might be a little bit weak, where you go, IceDevimon's plan of like... He was so sure that she would agree.
Yeah.
Maybe not be the best, but I don't know. I thought they did fine. It also did end with we shoot the monster real hard.
Yeah, but it's Digimon.
Yeah. But they've done better. They've done better before.
What about how you thought about it in Obnoxious Synopsis?
Oh god, this is totally wrong. I said I wanted IceDevimon to be in it, but I was pretty sure it would be called Icemon.
Yeah.
I should have committed to it.
Yeah.
I said that Renamon would be in danger, and Ruki would be presented with the idea that Renamon is dying, and that was super, super wrong.
Yeah.
That said, kind of.
It's reversed,
actually,
sort of.
that is actually what happened.
Yeah.
That is what happened. Explicitly, that is what happened, but not in the order I would have expected at the time. And
Yeah.
I did not see it coming in this way. I said that I thought that IceMon would look terrible. However, IceDevimon is a fine design, because Devimon's design is fine, except give him a nose.
Yeah, he's Voldemort.
This weird Michael Jackson monster.
Yeah. You said it'd be Monster of the Week, though, and it is Monster of the Week, but it's
This
also
is?
Plot of the Week.
But no, because it does way more than a Monster of the Week episode does.
Yeah.
And do I think it'll be a good episode?
Yeah, you said it'd be
I
going in circles, which is kind of right. I mean,
which is accurate.
Yeah, and you
but
said,
it did it well enough that I don't really care.
And you did say it'd be retreaded ground, which it was, but it did it better. So.
Yeah. So there it is.
What was the major change for you?
Rechecking my notes here.
Checking.
I really think the big one for me, besides Matt's voice showing up, which I hated, is primarily like her mom's reaction.
Oh yes, definitely.
And how in one you can see like she's bad at being a mom, but she's trying.
Yeah, because she it is implied that she is an extremely young mum.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks like she could be in her 20s. Or, maybe early 30s, but she's not.
Look, if you're a model, you're not going to be 40.
Yeah, she's got a child who's 10 or 13.
God, oh my God, she would have been.
Yeah, so she
would have been like 15.
Yeah, it's implied that she's a very, very young mum. And and some people who are young might not be ready to have children, and she's not good at it. But she's trying.
Yeah.
She's really trying hard, and that's fine.
Not in English, though.
Not in English, never in English. Does having an evolution, which is a challenge and a worry, does that appeal to you as a viewer?
What do you mean?
So, in the first 2 seasons, evolution was just you evolve, you fight the bad guy, end of the fight, Braveheart ends, de-evolve to either your rookie or child level, or in 02 it's even easier, you become you go back to the real world and you become